liberty, and justice for all.
I would ask that before you sit, we remain standing for a moment of silence. The borough recently lost former mayor and council member Marty Etler. And for those people who knew Marty, he was not only a mayor and a council member here in Fairlawn, he was a veteran and a Rotarian and one of the kindest, gentlest, most passionate, and hardworking people I have ever had the pleasure to work with. So in his honor, I'd like to have a moment of silence. Thank you, everybody. Okay, we have some proclamations, so if the council can join me in the well, get started. We're going to start this evening. There we go. Okay. Our first proclamation this evening is for Childhood Cancer Awareness Month. Whereas every September, we remember the children who have lost their lives to cancer far too early, honor the children who courageously fight cancer every day, and recognize the families and caregivers who never stop advocating for them. And whereas in the United States, approximately 47 children are diagnosed with cancer each day, totaling more than 17,000 children and adolescents under the age of 20 each year, with over 400,000 children worldwide affected annually. And whereas children are precious and strong, in 1997, a group of parents picked gold as the official color for childhood cancer awareness because it symbolizes how precious children are and their resiliency. And whereas, although childhood cancer research receives only a small share of overall cancer funding, there is progress and hope as advances in research and treatment are bringing us closer to improved outcomes and cures. And whereas it is important that we strive to raise awareness and funds for more research, better treatments, and more cures for all childhood cancers. Now, therefore, the Borough Council and I, Christina Catrone, Mayor of the Borough of Fairlawn, County of Bergen, State of New Jersey, do hereby proclaim September 2025 Childhood Cancer Awareness Month within Fairlawn and ask our residents to remember and support the families in our community who are fighting the battle against childhood cancer. I'd like to invite Kaylee and her family up to accept this proclamation and hopefully say a few words. Kaylee, that's for you. You're welcome. And do you want to say something?
Oh, yes, I just wrote a little something. First, I would like to say thank you for this proclamation. Pediatric cancer awareness is incredibly important, something that we didn't fully realize until it affected our family. Every effort to shine a light on these brave children and their families supports research, advocacy, and hope. We are so grateful that our town, and especially all the Fairlawn schools, stand with every child and family facing this journey. It truly means the world to us. Thank you.
Thank you. We'll take a picture. You're going to be famous on social media. You're already famous in Fairlawn, Kaylee, though, but yeah,
Everybody ready? 1, 2, 3. Oop, that didn't go. Let's try that again. 1, 2, 3. Ready? And 1, 2, 3. Great. Thank you.
thank you. What? You changed your mind? Okay. You want to do it next time.
So Our next proclamation is in recognition of Breast Cancer Awareness Month. And I didn't want to do this, but then I decided I will read this as I am a breast cancer survivor. And because I wanted to start by saying something about the amount of effort that's gone into breast cancer research, and that it has decreased mortality from breast cancer by 58% in the last 45 years, and that same effort needs to go into childhood cancer research so that we can have more miracles like Kaylee and less cancer in childhood. Whereas breast cancer is one of the most commonly diagnosed cancers among women in the United States and remains a leading cause of cancer-related deaths affecting women, men, and families in every community. And whereas in 2025, it's estimated that more than 300,000 people in the United States will be diagnosed with breast cancer, and over 43,000 lives are expected to be lost. And whereas early detection through regular screenings, mammograms, and self-examinations remains the most effective way to improve survival rates, and whereas ongoing research has led to significant advances in prevention, treatment, and survivorship, and continued support for education, awareness, and medical innovation is vital to saving lives and improving quality of care. And whereas Breast Cancer Awareness Month is observed every October and provides an opportunity to honor survivors, remember those we've lost, and support individual families affected by breast cancer, and just as importantly, or more importantly, raise awareness about the importance of prevention and early detection. And whereas the pink ribbon has become a powerful symbol of hope, strength, and unity in the fight against breast cancer, now therefore the Borough Council and Mayor Christina Controne declare October 25 to be National Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and Friday, October 17th as National Mammogram Day within Fairlawn, pledging our continued support to all residents in our community battling breast cancer so that they know they're not alone on this journey. And I'd like to bring up Amy Plotch, to accept this proclamation and to say a few words about breast cancer and breast cancer awareness.
First of all, I'd like to say my heart and my best wishes go out to Kaylee and her family. And thank you for everything that you said. It was so important. In the beginning of July, I walked into Hackensack Hospital for what was probably my 30th annual mammogram. I had gotten nervous about them in the beginning, but at this point it was like pretty routine, nothing to worry about. I always took good care of myself. Well, fortunately, that confidence didn't keep me from going because this time was different. After the mammogram, the radiologist came in with that sort of harried and serious expression that doctors have sometime when they're spending more time with the patient than they plan to, and said something looked off. They needed to do a biopsy. So I willed myself to stay calm. I've been through biopsies before too. Everything always turned out okay. This time, she stuck that biopsy needle in and she sort of mumbled under her breath, "Oh, this has got to come out." And a few days later, the results were back. It was positive. There was a 6-millimeter tumor in my breast. That's about the size of a pea. They told me I was lucky. It's really small. It's not aggressive. But even so, every cancer diagnosis is overwhelming. There's so many unknowns, so many decisions to make. I had caught it early, and it wouldn't cause my death, but it turns out that death is only one of the fears. What would treatment be like? How would it affect the rest of my body? Would I lose my hair? What do I tell my kids? And what do I do next? I'm not going to walk you through the medical side. What I want to talk about is how important it is to find your people and to share your experience, because you're never alone. Some women do feel like get the message that they shouldn't talk about it. Just push through the anxiety, the fatigue, the treatments. But the truth is 1 in 8 American women will have breast cancer. That means there are so many people out there with wisdom and support and perspective to offer you and to help you. In my case, I reached out to 3 really smart, sensible women who'd been through it. One was Gail Rottenstrick, our councilwoman, and they told me how they managed their care, how they chose their doctors, about surgery and radiation, what helped them physically and emotionally. They offered the kind of support that only someone who's been there can give, and I'll be forever grateful for them. I ended up having surgery on July 31st, and I finished up radiation last week, and today I can say that I'm cancer-free. So here's my ask during Breast Cancer Awareness Month. If you're due for a mammogram, make the appointment. Don't put it off. If someone you love is due, even someone you just like, even someone who you only feel so-so about, encourage them to go. Sometimes that gentle nudge can make all the difference. And if you've been through cancer yourself, share your story. You never knew who needs your wisdom, your encouragement, and your hope. Thank you.
All right, we're going to take a picture. You get to be social media famous, too. You want her to hold up the proclamation.
Ready? 1, 2, 3. And 1, 2, 3. Thank you.
Thanks, Amy. Thank you so much. That was beautiful. Thank you. You're up.
Okay. All right, our next proclamation is for Suicide Prevention Month, where suicide is a serious public health concern that affects people of all ages, races, and backgrounds, and it is among the leading causes of death in the United States. And whereas thousands of families, friends, and communities are deeply impacted by the tragic loss of loved ones to suicide, while many more individuals continue to struggle, and whereas increasing awareness, fostering open conversations, and reducing the stigma surrounding mental health and suicide are essential steps in creating a supportive environment where people feel safe to seek help, and whereas evidence-based practices, community resources, and professional mental health services play a vital role in preventing suicide and providing hope, healing, and support to those in need, and whereas each of us has the power to reach out, listen, and connect with someone who may be struggling, reminding them that they are not alone and that help is available. And whereas during Suicide Prevention Month, we recognize the importance of raising awareness, expanding education, and providing and promoting resources. Now, therefore, the Borough Council and Mayor Christina Catrone of the Borough of Fair Lawn, County of Bergen, State of New Jersey, do hereby proclaim the month of September 2025 to be Suicide Prevention Month within Fair Lawn, and encourage residents to take time to learn the warning signs and support those in need, and to work together to foster a community of hope and understanding and compassion.
We have nobody to
Okay.
Thank you.
Whereas Latin Heritage Month is observed each year from September 15th through October 15th to celebrate the histories, cultures, and contributions of Americans whose ancestors came from Mexico, the Caribbean, and Central and South America. And whereas Latin Americans have made indelible contributions to the cultural, social, economic, and civic fabric of the United States, enriching our nation with traditions, values, and a legacy of perseverance and service. And whereas in our borough, we are proud to recognize and honor the achievements and positive impact of Latin Americans who help strengthen our community through leadership, education, business, the arts, public service, and beyond. And whereas Latin Heritage Month is an opportunity for all residents to reflect upon and celebrate the diverse backgrounds and stories that unite us, and continue building a community rooted in respect, inclusion, and mutual understanding. Now, therefore, the Borough Council, on behalf of Mayor Christina Catrone, of the Borough of Fair Lawn, County of Bergen, State of New Jersey, do hereby proclaim September 15th to October 15th, 2025 as Latin Heritage Month within Fair Lawn, and encourage our residents to join in celebrating the history, culture, and contributions of Latin Americans. And I'd like to call up the members of the Latin Heritage Celebration Committee, whoever is here. Say something? Linda.
So I'm just going to read a little bit from our website, nothing major. In 2023, Fairlawn celebrated their first Latin Heritage Celebration. 2 years later, we continue to grow and celebrate our cultural diversity, as well as encourage civic engagement. Through our work, we hope to encourage structural change, build solidarity, and share the beauty of our culture, music, and food. That was easy.
All right. You guys have to all come in the middle. No, get in here. Yeah. You guys get in the middle, we'll get in the end. All right. Well, somehow I Christina, you're of this. You're an honorary. Yeah, honorary woman.
Everybody ready? 1, 2, 3. And 1, 2, 3. Thank you.
Thank you. All right. You can read it and call the coaches.
Yes.
Call the kids. Yeah. You can recall.
Yeah. All right, we have one more. Whereas the 12U Fairlawn Red softball team achieved an outstanding accomplishment by winning the Bergen County Girls Summer Softball League Championship, and whereas this victory was especially meaningful as the team avenged the prior season's championship game loss by defeating and shutting down a previously undefeated Paramus team, and whereas the team has been fortunate to have the unwavering support and dedication of parents, players, and coaches, having previously won a handful of tournaments and now proudly capturing the ultimate prize, a league championship. And whereas during their playoff run, the players displayed lights-out pitching, strong defense, and clutch hitting, while always relying on the unbreakable team spirit and sportsmanship. And whereas head coach Mario Mergola is hereby recognized for being an integral part of this remarkable championship team, contributing talent, hard work, and dedication to this unforgettable season. Now, therefore, the Borough Council and Mayor Christina Catrone and the Borough of Fairlawn do hereby proclaim October 1st as 12U Fairlawn Red Softball Day in the Borough of Fairlawn. Congratulations. I'm just gonna call up the coaches if you guys can come up. Mario. Larry Shofity.
No, I don't.
Keith Rotundi. And Adam Comet.
All right, I'm going to call up our champion players. Abigail? Now he, oh, come on. All right. Alina? Congratulations. Ashley? Avery? Charlie? Devin? Haley? Hazel? You're welcome. Isabella? Juliana? You're welcome. Leah? And Madison. You're welcome. All right, we're going to take one big picture. something first, yes.
I was hoping I'd get away with it because I didn't know I was going to talk. First, thank you to the people who spoke before us because that was in every way brave. Like I said, did not know I'd be up here speaking, so I will make it brief. We always say it's an honor to coach these girls, not just because they're good, but because they're wonderful people. I grew up in Fair Lawn. It is a true privilege to be able to coach a team from Fair Lawn, but we said in the write-up, we have spent so much time trying to win a championship. They deserved it. They put their heart into everything. It is just a pleasure to get to be there with them, and they have represented our town so wonderfully that we're happy to give this to them.
Can you give that one to Abigail?
Yeah, I will. Thank you.
Okay. All right. Sorry that she was late.
Does this excuse us?
It does not. Unfortunately, it does not. But I mean, you're more than willing to try to get like no homework or something. I don't know. You know, so
You need everybody to like double up so there's like.
come this way. You guys go on one run. You're important in the picture.
There's nothing more serious than parents.
All right, now we need the official one.
All right, 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3. All right.
All right.
That day is tomorrow. We were just. Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
Sir.
Yes, if you have to get home, we're not offended. It's okay. It's okay. You're more than welcome to stay, but we're not offended. Okay. All right, we are going to move on with the meeting, though, and we're up to number 6, council member comments. Good evening, council member Salinas.
Good evening, everybody, and thank you, Mayor. First, thank you and congratulations to our proclamation recipients who took the time to be here this evening. I had a very busy month, like many, getting back into the swing of things with school and fall activities. And in between all of that, I had the pleasure of attending our annual Art in the Park. What year is it, Nick?
Fourth?
Fourth annual
Yeah, I think 4, right?
Art in the Park. It gets better and better every year, organized by our incredible team of volunteers on the Arts Council. I also attended the 9/11 Remembrance Ceremony, which was moving, as it always is, the Warren Point Car Wash fundraiser, and one of my highlights this past month was attending the Knights of Pythias Officers Cotillion. A special thank you to Jerry and Saul for their hospitality and getting me on the dance floor to do the twist. October is a month of reflection and celebration. It gives us a lot to think about. For me, this time of year is especially meaningful, aside from it being my daughter's birthday. Hi, Ruby. We celebrate Latin Heritage Month. This is year-round in my household, but for many, it's a time to be introduced to our vibrant culture. As the first Latina council member to sit on this dais, I carry both pride and responsibility. It's not always easy to step away from my family for this role, but I understand the importance of being a part of this council. In these challenging times, I'm grateful that our town chooses unity over division, values our differences, and celebrates the contributions of all people. The Fair Lawn Latin Heritage Committee, chaired by Linda La Madrid-Peluso, has done an incredible job curating a fantastic lineup of events. This past Monday, we had our second annual event at the Senior Center. Thank you, Debbie Gonzalez. This Friday, we partnered with Fairlawn Main Street, thank you, Ryan, to bring a live Latin band to Juani's Cafe and Grill, which starts at 7 p.m. They have a special menu that they're offering, and we're really looking forward to a fun night there. Sunday, October 5th, from 12 to 3 p.m. is our third annual Latin Heritage Celebration, which will be at the Rec Center. Each year, it gets bigger and better. Come ready to eat, dance, shop, and have fun. And lastly, on Thursday, October 9th, from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m., we have the Latin Heritage at the library. There will be music and dancing, of course, a scavenger hunt, a bilingual story time, and this will be taking place in the children's section of the library. So please spread the word. I hope to see you all there. And last and most important, reminder to get out and vote. Your voice matters. Thank you.
Thank you. Good evening, Councilmember Kraus.
Good evening, Mayor. As always, I do want to take the time to thank and congratulate and recognize everyone that we just recognized down there for our proclamations. The first three proclamations are very serious and heavy topics. It takes a lot for people not only to be able to go through those things, but then to come out and be able to talk about them publicly, raise awareness, and help others who are struggling with them. So I do want to thank them for doing that and continuing to enhance our community and continuing to try to help others in that way. And Hispanic Heritage Month, looking forward to this weekend's festivities. In addition to the Latin Heritage festivities, there is the Fall Festival at the high school on Sunday. So there is a lot going on this weekend, as there seems to be every weekend, especially in the summer and fall months. And I do want to congratulate the 12U travel softball team. It's hard to believe, but I've known some of the parents of those children before those children were born. So it's wonderful to see the season that they had. I know that they had a comeback win this season after losing last year. And it's great to see young people, whether it's through sports or through arts or through any activity, learning that ability to come together as a team to weather those setbacks like they may have had the year before, and to come back, to not quit on each other, and to come back and to have a successful season the year after. It's something that we certainly as adults can learn to do a little bit more. And it's easier said than done in the world that we live in. A very online world, a very sequestered world. There's a lot less opportunities for face-to-face interaction. But any opportunity you can to step out into your community, to volunteer, to make some of these events happen that we have in town. They don't happen by themselves. They happen because we have a lot of very hardworking volunteers and people who found something they were passionate about, and they took the time to step up and make it happen and to enhance that passion into the community. We're very fortunate in town to have a lot of people like that who have found their passion and are willing to share it with the rest of us. And that's how an event like Art in the Park, which we had this past month, happened, and that's why it continues to get better every single year. I do want to recognize the Arts Council, who I am the liaison to, for their hard work. I know that they spend a ton of time every single year trying to make that event better, and as great as it was this year, they had their meeting last night, and the biggest topic of conversation was how can we make it even better next year? And there was a very good discussion about that, and I'm curious to see which direction they decide to go in. But it's an event that I've come to love in town, and I think many of you can say the same as well. Also this month, we did have our September 11th ceremony, and that included a lot of very moving speeches. If you are in town on September 11th and you can come out, every year it's a great event, very respectful, and there's always someone who brings a lot of perspective. It's important for us to remember that event because there are a lot of people now who simply weren't alive during that time. it's something that for those of us who lived through it, I think we can all remember exactly where we were and most of that day. And it's something that, the way that we, again, were able to come together as a community and the times after is something that we can always look back to and remember that we can come together as a community and as a country. Also had a meeting with our new health department, and that went very well. Mayor Cutrone and I both had the opportunity to meet with them and to learn the things, that they're doing in terms of continuing all the services that our residents expected. Although it's no longer within the borough, we were assured and we went over all the things that they're doing for the town and how there hasn't been any change in the level of services, just a different provider that is providing them. And with that, I'm done for tonight. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Good evening, Deputy Mayor Rodenstrike.
Good evening, Mayor. Thank you. And I just wanted to take the opportunity also to thank Councilmember Salinas and all the great work that she's done on the Latin Heritage Committee and for organizing these events. I was able to go to the event at the Senior Center last year, and it was really actually life-changing. I learned things that I had never known, and it really changed my whole perspective about the culture and heritage of Latin America. So I really appreciate it, and I'm looking forward to the remaining events for this month. Last year at our holiday parade, I had the opportunity to meet Kaylee for the first time, and she's really such an inspiration. She's so strong and wonderful and brave, and I know it wasn't easy for her to come here, but I really admire her and her family and the support that they've given her. As I said, and I do want to repeat, we need more research dollars and effort to go into childhood cancer. The miracles that have happened because of the money put into breast cancer research and all the time and the effort, if we put those same resources into childhood cancer funding, research funding, we can really make more miracles. This past Sunday, we had our 5th annual community tree planting. We met the Green Team, the Shade Tree Advisory Committee, and members of the community, as well as our borough manager, and the DPW came and helped us plant 3 new trees in Crest Hill Park. We also piloted a new program where we offered trees to residents to plant themselves in their own front yards. I don't know how many people are aware of our regular residential tree program, where we come to your home and we plant a tree in the borough's right-of-way, but we're trying to be creative. We're trying to get more trees in the ground, and one way we can do that is by giving residents trees to plant. So we piloted it. I think we learned a few things, and I think it's something that we're going to continue with because it really, it's really a good avenue just to get more trees in the ground. I know personally, every time a tree comes down, it breaks my heart. And Fairlawn being, over 100 years old, we have trees in Fairlawn that are over 100 years old, and not all of them are as healthy as we'd like them to be. We actually have a tree that's more than 300 years old, and we want to keep them healthy. We want to keep our canopy healthy, but the only way we can do that is by just planting more trees. And in the last few years, we've increased the residential tree planting budget from $30,000 to $100,000, and we're going to keep at it because it is so important for our environment, for our peace of mind, to prevent heat islands, and on that theme, we're going to be having a community energy meeting on October 28th, 2025. Trees are one of the ways that you can keep your home cooler, and we're going to be learning about all the different ways that you can make your home or business more energy efficient. We're also going to be discussing the borough's community energy plan to make the borough more energy efficient, as well as our community solar program. So again, it's going to be October 28th, right here in council chambers at 7 p.m. So I hope we see a lot of the community come out. You know, we've been struggling with increased costs of energy. Actually, I haven't, because I have a solar array, so my cost was zero. So I do encourage people to either put in solar panels or become part of the community solar if they can't put in solar panels. So I hope we get a great turnout at that. I know tonight we also gave out our awards for the Fairlawn Main Street scavenger hunt, but I think Deputy Mayor Reinitz will be talking more about that. So the last thing I wanted to say for our Jewish residents is Yom Kippur is coming up tomorrow. It starts tomorrow night, and I want to wish everybody Gemar Chatima Tova. Thank you.
Thank you. Good evening, Deputy Mayor Reinitz.
Good evening, Mayor. I know it's been a while since we were here. I think it's almost 6 weeks now, so I'm going to try not to repeat a lot of what's said before. The Pedestrian Safety Committee met, I believe, in early, maybe it was, well, we met since the last time we were here and discussed plans for school circulation, specifically changing the patterns at Thomas Jefferson, which I think has been successful, and looking at places to put additional rapid repeating flashing beacons. I know our borough engineer is studying whether we can put some in areas that may impact the schools. Our next pedestrian safety meeting is October 7th at 6:30 across the hall. I also wanted to just mention former Mayor Marty Etler, who passed away. You know, to me, Marty was someone who really epitomized the ability to have political discourse and the ability to listen to other people and to leave his community better than he found it. So just want to thank Marty for his contributions both to our country and his service and to our community. As a few people mentioned, the 9/11 ceremony, we had a very special guest, a Fairlawn resident, Dr. Gordon Huey, who considers himself a triple survivor of 9/11, and really epitomized what it means to be someone who runs into trouble when others are running the other way. He spent that day helping people in a hospital, literally in a conference room with very primitive bandages and other devices, trying to stitch people up and help people out. At the same time, he wasn't aware that he lost his sister while that was going on in the towers. And he's made it his mission, now that we're 24 years beyond that date, to make sure that the date is not forgotten and people understand the sacrifices that went into 9/11 and what it means to all of us who were around and remember it so well. I also wanted to, I don't believe we've been here since, but I wanted to really once again thank our DPW and our water department, as well as our fire department and our other first responders for all they did in getting us through the water crisis we had about a month ago. Unfortunately, out of what was out of our control was a main break in Patterson, but what was in our control was how we reacted. And I was at the Cadmus water facility that Sunday morning. I know the mayor was there, the borough manager, and the quick thinking of our DPW and water department, the fire department, to find ways to source water from other towns and set up hookups that just had never been done before, made it so that our residents had water and had water pressure within 12 hours. And I think that's remarkable, and they deserve a ton of credit. And so thank you to everyone that was involved with that. I also want to thank the ambulance squad. I was able to do a ride-along with two of their members about 2 weeks ago, and really learned a lot about just what goes into being a member of the squad, and how quickly they have to respond, and the multi-layered things they have to do on each call, whether it's dealing with the patient, dealing with the patient's family, coordinating care with other providers, and really navigating traffic and other things. So it's really a difficult job, and they deserve, you know, a ton of credit for what they're doing. As the deputy mayor said, earlier this evening, I was outside with Ryan Greff from Main Street and members of the Chamber of Commerce, celebrating the winners of our scavenger hunt. And I think it's really important that we do this scavenger hunt, and it seems to, year over year, continue to increase. And the really smart thing that we do is August is generally a real dead time for retail establishments with people out of town, and it's tough. So by spurring on business in August and helping our local businesses and driving business to them, I think it's a really smart idea, and congratulations to the winners tonight. And lastly, I think one of the things that I think we do best up here is respond when residents bring us issues. And tonight we're going to be voting on two specific quality of life issues. The first is we're voting on an ordinance that's being introduced tonight to raise rear fences for people who border the highway or the train tracks. We have gone to the state multiple times. We've gone to the DOT. We've gone to New Jersey Transit, to the point where I don't know if they just don't answer our calls anymore or they just don't respond. But too many of our residents are impacted by noise based on these places, and the fact that the state refuses to intervene. We're at the point now where we're not going to allow that to be the answer. So we are going to allow, if it passes, and I hope it does, we're going to allow residents to erect their own sound barriers to these loud noise areas, since the state refuses to put in a sound barrier. So that is something that came to us from a resident. And then tonight we have a hearing on our ordinances to prohibit massage parlors in Fair Lawn. Prior to Massage Envy coming into town, it's my understanding there weren't any massage parlors, and then once Massage Envy came and the ordinance was changed, it's got to be going back 15 years, before any of us were on the council. There seems to be more and more massage parlors propagating through town, and based on reports of the state comptroller about concerns about human trafficking in these places, as well as violations that have happened in these specific businesses, I think we're taking smart action to basically try to move forward in the borough without these types of businesses. Obviously, businesses that are here that are compliant with the law, we are not going to, send them out of town. But if there's violations, then, we plan to take action. So I thank the council for all their hard work, and our borough attorney for her hard work in coming up with an ordinance that I believe will put our residents' needs first, protect the health and safety of our residents, and continue to support the fine work that our police department's doing in enforcing the ordinances that are already on the books. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you. Good evening, everybody. I'm going to begin my comments on a bit of a heavier note. I feel in my position it's important to acknowledge when the world does feel heavy for many of us and our residents here. Since our last meeting, we've witnessed many tragic acts of violence, the killing of Charlie Kirk, the Annunciation Catholic Church shooting, the Evergreen High School shooting, shootings at a high school football game, at a country club, and just 2 days ago, another shooting in a church in Grand Blanc Township in Michigan. And what all of these tragedies share is a disturbing mix of hate and the continued easy access to unregulated guns. The world can feel very scary in moments like these, and I personally, for the first time really in my entire time in elected office, felt incredibly scared at this year's 9/11 ceremony. It came very soon after the killing of Charlie Kirk, and I was very worried that any of us could have suffered the same consequences. And public servants like us and ordinary citizens should never feel that way when we're coming together in remembrance and in unity. That evening, though, I was incredibly grateful for the security that was provided by our emergency responders, especially our police department, and I was very grateful to live in a state that has some of the strictest gun laws. And honor 9/11 we certainly did. As you heard, our keynote speaker, Gordon Huey, a triple survivor of September 11th, reminded us of resiliency of the human spirit, and our ceremony brought neighbors together in reflection and remembrance. That sense of community continued throughout this month at many of the wonderful events that you heard that I also was able to attend, Art in the Park, a full display from music to crafts to paintings that celebrated both talent and togetherness. At our very first police command staff meeting, our residents had their first opportunity, thanks to our new Chief DeWicki, to sit face-to-face with police leadership, to ask them questions, to share their concerns, to learn about what our police are doing here in town to keep us safe, and really to build stronger connections with those who protect and serve us. We saw this at St. Anne's Carnival. I was grateful to join a very joyful celebration that showcased both faith and fellowship. And at our tree planting event hosted by our green team, volunteers of all ages got their hands dirty for a cause that's rooted in sustainability and hope for future generations. Each of these moments showed the very best of Fair Lawn, neighbors coming together with pride, with purpose, and with joy. Tonight, we also had the honor of presenting several proclamations that reflect our values and our pride as a community. We recognize Childhood Cancer Awareness Month, keeping in our hearts the children and families touched by this devastating illness. We celebrated our 12U travel softball team. We mark Latin Heritage Month, which is especially important, I think, this year, uplifting the rich culture and contributions of our Hispanic and Latino neighbors. We stand together during Suicide Prevention Awareness Month, reminding everyone that help is always available and no one should ever feel alone. And we join the fight during Breast Cancer Awareness Month, standing with survivors, with fighters, and families who show incredible courage every day. And we just found out only hours ago that the Borough of Fair Lawn has been is the recipient of a $70,000 grant so that we can continue the great work of our age-friendly initiative, which benefits our older adults here in Fair Lawn. It's very exciting, thank you. As we move through this season of reflection for the Jewish people, I would like to wish a heartfelt Lashana Tova to all those who celebrated Rosh Hashanah, and an easy and meaningful fast to those who are observing Yom Kippur. These holidays are about looking inward, making amends, and choosing to do better in the year ahead. And for me, that also means a reminder of choosing kindness, especially in a world where it can feel easier to type something cruel online than to extend a hand or a smile to someone. Farallon is at its best, not on a screen, but face to face. Neighbors helping neighbors, kids cheering each other on, volunteers planting trees together. And my hope for all of us is that we continue to step away from the noise of social media and lean into real human connection where compassion almost always outweighs division. And finally, I will close with my Did You Know Farallon edition for the month. And with all the heaviness, I decided this month that I wanted to pick something really fun and light. And I know our borough clerk was also really excited about this one. So did you know that Farallon is home to not one, not two, but 3 former Radio City Rockettes? Jamie Frola, from 1999 to 2006, Callie Carter from 2000 to 2006, and Christine Warren from 2007 to 2017, all once lit up the stage at Radio City Music Hall and now proudly call Farallon home. So the next time you watch or go see the Radio City Christmas Spectacular, remember that some of that sparkle and discipline can be found right here in our own community. And that's all I have for tonight. So we will move on to number 7, our Main Street Minute.
So I will go.
You mean the kicking of the Rockettes or
the sparkles? I'm like, okay. So Small Business Scavenger Hunt has been an overwhelming success this year. And I want to take a moment to thank Deputy Mayor Reinitz for joining the winners and giving a speech before them to explain the importance of supporting small businesses and being there to present the prizes and take the group photos. Thank you, Josh. When we first began the Small Business Scavenger Hunt, we got just over 300 submissions. The following year, with Pam Coles at the helm, we radically increased that to over 800 submissions. Then on our third year, was just under 1,100 submissions. And now this year, we have achieved 1,258 submissions to the Small Business Scavenger Hunt. That is a lot of selfies, and we got a lot of receipts this year. We targeted a lot of our marketing towards getting more receipts in order to really encourage people to spend money at our local businesses. We also embraced the concept of influencer marketing. So we had the Bergen Girl come and do a good piece on the Small Business Scavenger Hunt, as well as a few other social media influencer groups. It has been successful, and a small child won the grand prize, which is either a TV or a PlayStation 5. They chose the PlayStation 5, which usually kids tend to do. And I want to also thank the Chamber of Commerce, as well as Lisa McClements and her age-friendly initiative, because we were able to really diversify the kinds of people that participate in the scavenger hunt this year. So moving on to October. So we are sponsoring the Latin American Heritage activity on Friday, October 3rd at Wani's from 7 to 10 p.m. This will be exciting because it's really showcasing the vibrancy of our business district, as well as working to bring people to River Road to participate in a great way to celebrate our community here. On October 15th, we have a ribbon cutting for our storefront improvement project on Monjal at 5:15 p.m. So hopefully I will see you all there. It is a exciting storefront improvement project that continues to show the investments that Farallon is making into having vibrant downtown districts. And while Swami is here, we are also going to be doing a video encouraging everybody to sign up for the borough's announcements and emergency services so they can get those alerts as they happen. So support things like the water activities that happened. Okay, that is all.
Thank you. And joining us at our ribbon cutting for Manjal is we're very lucky to have a man by the name of Matt Coleman, who is the Atlantic Regional Administrator for the United States Small Business Association. A person at his level in the federal government doesn't typically come to a town's ribbon cutting, but it just so happens that we went to high school together, so I was able to convince him to stick around. So it'll be a good one. All right, number 8, ordinances on introduction. Ordinance 2758-2025, an ordinance amending Chapter 125, Land Development of the Code of the Borough of Fair Lawn 2000, Article 4, Supplementary Zoning Regulations, Section 125-38, Fences and Walls. May I have a motion that this ordinance be passed on introduction, advertised according to law, and that a public hearing be held on October 21st, 2025?
So moved. Second.
Discussion? Roll call.
Councilmember Salinas?
Yes.
Councilmember Kraus?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Rottenstreich?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Reinitz?
Yes.
Mayor Catrone?
Yes. Ordinance 2759-2025, an ordinance to amend Chapter 94 Fees, Article 1, Schedule of Fees of the Revised General Ordinance of the Borough of Fair Lawn 2000. May I have a motion that this ordinance be passed on introduction, advertised according to law, and that a public hearing be held on October 21st, 2025?
So moved.
Second.
Discussion? Roll call.
Councilmember Salinas?
Yes.
Councilmember Kraus?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Rottenstreich?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Reinitz?
Yes.
Mayor Catrone?
Yes. Ordinance 2760-2025, an ordinance amending various sections of Chapter 232, Vehicles and Traffic, Article 2, Parking of the Code of the Borough of Fair Lawn 2000. May I have a motion that this ordinance be passed on introduction, advertised according to law, and that a public hearing be held on October 21st, 2025?
So moved.
Second.
Discussion? Roll call.
Councilmember Salinas?
Yes.
Councilmember Kraus?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Rottenstreich?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Reinitz?
Yes.
Mayor Catrone?
Yes. Ordinance 2761-2025, an ordinance fixing the salary of certain employees of the Borough of Fair Lawn, Bergen County, New Jersey as amended stipends. May I have a motion that this ordinance be passed on introduction, advertised according to law, and that a public hearing be held on October 21st, 2025?
So moved.
Second.
Discussion? Roll call.
Councilmember Salinas?
Yes.
Councilmember Kraus?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Rottenstreich?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Reinitz?
Yes.
Mayor Catrone?
Yes. Number 9, ordinances on public hearing and final passage. Ordinance 2754-2025, an ordinance amending Chapter 144, Massage, Bodywork, and Somatic Therapy Establishment of the Code of the Borough of Fair Lawn 2000. Can I have a motion to open the time for public comment on this ordinance only?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? The time for public comment is now open on this ordinance only. Please state your name prior to the comment.
Hello, my name is Sharice Foy. I am the owner-operator of Massage Spa Incorporated at 10-14 Saddle River Road. So I was just made aware of this when I was sent information. I'm not sure if it's on this amendment or the final one where you are defining the use of the word massage parlor is what I take offense to, and I'm not. So when reading the ordinance, I understand what it is that you are looking to protect the town from, and I am in agreement with that. Being someone who is New Jersey state licensed, New York state licensed, and nationally board certified, I don't want massage parlors either, but I don't want my establishment to be defined as a massage parlor. And in your ordinance, or if I'm using the right terminology, you have lumped everybody under that title of massage parlor. I would prefer to be either called what I am, massage therapy office or establishment, or somatic body work establishment. Massage parlor, as you have stated, has a negative connotation, and I don't want to be associated with that. So I object to your defining all of us or all of our establishments as massage parlors. I don't know how, with the Roberts rules, I'm not sure how that could be amended.
So it's, and Borough Attorney, maybe you can correct me if I'm wrong. Did we change the definition?
We added to it.
Yeah.
We added to it, but what,
When I read it,
I'm
it's
just looking
everything
at,
that's
what
underlined.
page are we on here?
So this is in the
It's
next.
not in this ordinance.
Yeah.
Oh, it's not in
So
this
I'm in the wrong
ordinance. Okay,
ordinance?
yeah, that's why I was
So-
looking at the,
so
okay.
that's why I asked.
So
Let me know.
You
which
don't
is
have
it.
to
Is this
repeat what
one
you
or the-
said, but when we get to the next ordinance, then we'll
That's the
address
one.
your concern.
It's in 2757.
Right.
Yeah, page 2.
I believe on page 2.
Okay, okay. So no questions about this one?
This
Or
is,
comments.
this one is where you also defined uses of landlines, which don't really exist anymore. How cleanliness, what have you. Is there, I don't understand if there's anything being added. I saw a lot of verbiage that's being changed, but in terms of what I've been required to
Anything that's
do, I don't see a
underlined-
difference.
Anything that's underlined and bolded is what is added to
Is-
the ordinance.
right.
Anything that's marked in bold and enclosed in brackets is being removed from the
Or
ordinance.
one of them being the time of work was the one that stood out to me, ending at 8 instead of 10. Although I do understand, I have a lot of people who work 9 to 5 in the city, so by the time they get back here to Fairlawn, that means they would need their appointment at like 6, 7, and sometimes even at 8 to start. So are you stating that you want all business to end at 8, or my start time to be no later than 8?
Shall not extend beyond 8 PM.
Correct. So again, my understanding is that the start time or the end time?
No, that's the end time. It says,
So
shall
then
not
that's-
commence prior to 9 AM and shall not extend
Okay.
beyond 8 PM.
So
Yeah.
that's where there may be an issue again because of people. This Bergen County is mainly a commuting county, and many people work and work in the city, and by the time they get home and want to make it and eat dinner and then make an appointment, I work when people are off work. So it's not often that I have someone who needs an 8 o'clock appointment, but it does happen. So then that's curtailing. I do
Okay.
understand why and what you're concerned about, but again, I don't see myself in the same space of the people that you're concerned about. So I don't know where there could be a happy medium for that, but that does curtail some of my business.
We are on second reading of this, so it would take a member of the council to, if they wanted to make an amendment, but I don't know if anybody is interested in doing that. Otherwise,
I mean, I wouldn't have an objection to stating that, no,
that the last appointment be at 8 o'clock.
yeah, that no appointment be scheduled after 8 PM and at no point, and all business must cease by 9.
By 9.
I would propose that as a friendly amendment if anyone else.
Can we make that without having to reintroduce the whole
I
thing?
believe we'd have to reintroduce the entire thing.
And then I'd have to do that mailing all over again.
Okay,
Substantive change.
Yeah.
okay.
I apologize. I work with organizations too, that's why I asked about Robert's rules, and I understand.
No, I
the
get it.
differences
We-
between
no,
what
I
can
mean,
be
it-
done and
No,
what
it's just
cannot
that
be done.
this has been on multiple
This is
council
something-
agendas for like many months,
I
so
was
we're
only
at the
get-
last.
I was only sent,
Yeah.
or rather,
Yeah, that's the way
through my
the,
landlord, I only received the letter for this one.
Yeah.
I had not received any letters prior to this. So
Yeah, I mean,
I find that to be, I'm fine with that change. Like I said, it's not often. Believe me, I don't want to be here late. And you had also another moment, I'm sure if it was in here, about having the doors
too
locked.
big of an amendment?
Mayor, if I could make a suggestion
Yeah.
quickly, if we could still move forward and vote on the ordinance tonight, and then depending on what happens, we could always introduce a new ordinance amending.
But then do we have to
We
renotice
have to do it-
everybody just for,
Yeah, and then
but
we have to
that's.
do it two
that-
more times, and we're gonna be here
Or
till
is-
December, when this should
Right.
have been done by now.
And that costs a lot of money. So it's really not considered, like, we're talking about just, we're leaving 8, it's just that 8 is when the last appointment is.
Yeah, I know, but changing it would be a substantive change.
Okay.
The ordinance reads as.
Okay.
So the way that it reads,
So I think we're gonna have, I mean, my suggestion is to do what the attorney suggested and just pass it and then make the change later, if we want to do it that way. I mean, I don't think we have any other
I think
choice.
it's bad advice, to be frank. I don't see why we can't make that. I think it's an enforcement issue as much as anything else. I think it's something that, it just, I mean, I think it's an enforcement issue as much as anything else. But it may be something, I guess we're gonna have to amend.
and may I ask, if I'm also being grandfathered, can it be covered under that? The fact that I'm being grandfathered?
The use is grandfathered
The
in.
use, right.
So not the other term. So the ability to operate your business, as long as you operate under the terms of the new ordinance, is what's being grandfathered in, as opposed to us saying anyone who does this type of business as of 3 months from now can't operate in town. So you're grandfathered in with the use, not with the terms of the use. However, I mean, what percentage of your business would you say happens after 8?
Not a lot. So in this, I can most likely deal with those clients that need that and let them know that there's been an ordinance change.
right.
The only other thing that you mentioned was doors to the public being open. And at night, it's for my safety that I lock a door so that nobody can walk in on me when I'm in session, if I'm the only person in that building. So I don't know if that was ever taken in consideration. Again, I understand where all of this is coming from, and for the most part, I agree with you. For
Right, I
that
mean-
illicit element that I don't want either, because it makes my job, being a legitimate person, problematic.
Right, I guess the issue would be the concern about a locked door, even for your businesses, if there's an emergency and they got to get in for whatever reason, having the locked door makes it difficult. I don't know if you have, I mean, there's other ways to do it, but I think the best thing to do would be to pass it as is, since apparently we can't amend it, and maybe in the future set up a time that we can sit down and talk with the police about finding ways that you can safeguard and do other things to make sure that you're able to operate the way you need to operate without adding additional cost burdens to you that are certainly unintended here. So, I mean, I'd welcome the opportunity to sit down with you and try and figure that out.
No problem. I've been here since, I believe, 2005, so.
Yeah, so if we could do that, maybe we can sit down and then talk to the police about if there's ways that we can make it, even if we have to amend things, so that you're able to operate the way you need to operate and you're not taking a cut based on something that's unintended.
I appreciate that.
Yeah, okay, thank you.
Thank you for hearing my concerns.
Thanks for
Thank you.
coming.
Any other questions or comments on this ordinance? Okay, seeing no one, can I have a motion to close the time for public comment on this ordinance?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? The public hearing on this ordinance is now closed. May I have a motion that this ordinance be adopted on second and final reading and that it be advertised according to law?
So moved. Second.
Discussion? Roll call.
Councilmember Salinas.
Yes.
Councilmember Kraus.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Rottenstreich.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Reinitz.
Yes.
Mayor Catrone.
Yes. Ordinance 2755-2025, an ordinance amending Chapter 125 Land Development of the Code of the Borough of Fair Lawn 2000 to prohibit massage parlors in all zoning districts.
Mayor,
Yep.
can I move to table ordinance 2755, 2025, as it's being superseded by ordinance 2757, 2025, which is listed on tonight's agenda for final passage?
Can I have a motion to table this ordinance?
So move.
Second.
Discussion? Roll call.
Councilmember Salinas.
Yes.
Councilmember Kraus.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Rottenstreich.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Reinitz.
Yes.
Mayor Catrone.
Yes. Ordinance 2757-2025, an ordinance amending Chapter 125 Land Development of the Code of Borough of Fair Lawn 2000 to prohibit massage parlors in the B1, B2, B3, B4, B5, I2, and I2ER zoning districts. Can I have a motion to open the time for public comment on this ordinance only?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Time for public comment is now open on this ordinance only. Please state your name prior to the comment. There'll be a 3-minute time limit. Seeing nobody, can I have a motion to close the time for public comment on this ordinance?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? The public hearing on this ordinance is now closed. May I have a motion that this ordinance be adopted on second and final reading and that it be advertised according to law?
So moved.
Second.
Discussion?
May
Yes.
I just want to make sure that we incorporate the comments of the woman who came up here before. I apologize, I forgot your name, but I think it's important that we acknowledge that our intent here is not to impact businesses that are operating in the way that hers is, and that I think we should agree that we will work with her and other like businesses to find ways to make sure that if there's changes that we can make that will allow them to continue undisturbed, that we'll continue to look at ways to amend it. So I would just ask that from everyone. I think, as the mayor said, this went through a lot of changes over the last 6 months. It's something we've been talking about for a while. And the definition has been changed multiple times. I don't know, I don't know if the definition accepts medical practice, physical therapy, chiropractic, and things like that. I don't know whether what you do fits in that realm or not. But I think we'll get it figured out, but we appreciate you being here. That's all I have, Mayor. Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else? Roll call.
Councilmember Salinas.
Yes.
Councilmember Kraus.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Rottenstreich.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Reinitz.
Yep.
Mayor Catrone.
Yes. 10, public comment on consent agenda 17-2025 items only. Can I have a motion to open the time for public comment on consent agenda items only?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? The time for public comment is now open on the consent agenda items only. Seeing nobody, can I have a motion to close the time for public comment on consent agenda?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Time for public comment on this consent agenda is now closed. Number 11, resolutions by consent 17-2025. Will the municipal clerk read the consent agenda passage?
Whereas the following resolutions, 290-2025 through 305-2025, hearing here have heretofore been placed on this consent agenda, require no discussion. The same, having been previously reviewed by each council member, be and are hereby adopted, ratified, and confirmed in their entirety by the mayor and council of the Borough of Fair Lawn.
Can I have a motion to pass the consent agenda?
So moved. Second.
Second.
Discussion? Roll call.
Councilmember Salinas.
Yes.
Councilmember Kraus.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Rottenstreich.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Reinitz.
Yes.
Mayor Catrone.
Yes.
Number 12, new business. I have two things on here. So I sent around the community solar letter that's going to go out to residents, letting them know about the program. And before I gave the yes on the letter, I wanted to give anybody an opportunity to say no or change anything. Does anybody have any concerns with the letter as it's written?
No.
No.
Great. And then my second one is related to special needs programming. So the grant writer found a grant that would allow the Access for All Committee to not only continue to do the programming that they do, but expand it. They're looking to do in particular monthly a wellness program for adults with special needs. And this grant would allow them to do that. And in order to do that, I need a resolution passed tonight so that we don't miss the ability to do it. It is a matching grant, but the matching part on the borough's side would be $1,600. And the Access for All Committee did say that if the borough could not cover the matching costs, that they would, but I would like to see if we could cover it first, if there is money for it. It's a pretty small amount, but if there's consensus for the manager to look into that, and if we have the funding, then.
The CFO confirmed, yeah.
What?
The CFO already confirmed, yes.
Oh, she did? Okay, so we're okay with that. So is everybody okay with that?
Yep.
Okay, so then I'm going to ask that we pass Resolution 306-2025, I guess right now, unless there's, right? But is there any other new business before? No?
I just want to, if I have a second, I just want to bring up that tonight is our trial run for live streaming on YouTube.
Oh,
So I want to thank our IT clerk, Anthony Panzini. He actually took the initiative when he saw my email about it, and
Great.
he worked with Dimitri and Fairlawn TV and got it all set up. So if it goes good tonight, then we'll be live streaming on YouTube from now on.
fantastic. That's great. All right, anything else? Okay, so Resolution 306-2025, resolution authorizing the submission of a grant application to the New Jersey Department of Community Affairs, Recreation Opportunities for Individuals with Disabilities Program. Can I have a motion to pass this resolution?
You're not going to read the acronym?
Oh, ROID.
Royd?
Oh, Royd.
Sort of unfortunate.
Can I have a motion to pass this resolution?
So moved.
Second.
Discussion?
I just have a point of discussion. I think that this is really an important program because we do have so many people with special needs who are aging in place here. We have a new group home that we just dedicated to Saul Rockman and his wife Jerry, and we have a JAD home, and that home has been here for
Long time.
30 years, and some of the residents have been residents of that home for that long, and they are now aging adults with special needs, and unfortunately, there's a lot of kids who are going to be continuing to live here because they can't find group homes, so they'll be aging in place with their parents, and they need this kind of care and attention, and I really appreciate that you found this grant and that we're doing this.
Thank you. Roll call.
Councilmember Salinas.
Yes.
Councilmember Kraus.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Rottenstrike.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Reinitz.
Yes.
Mayor Catrone.
Yes. Resolution 307-2025, resolution authorizing the release of performance guarantee for Pollitt Drive Associates LLC, 19-00 and 15-00 Pollitt Drive. Can I have a motion to pass this resolution?
So moved.
Second.
Discussion? Roll call.
Councilmember Salinas.
Yes.
Councilmember Kraus.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Rottenstrike.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Reinitz.
Yes.
Mayor Catrone.
Yes. And the last resolution, Resolution 308-2025, resolution approving and authorizing execution of a First Amendment to Developers Agreement by and between the Borough of Fairlawn, the Planning Board of the Borough of Fairlawn, and the developer 1400 3rd Street Acquisition LLC for property located at 14-00 3rd Street and which is now designated on the official tax map of the Borough of Fair Lawn as Block 5729, Lot 2.01. Can I have a motion to pass this resolution?
So moved.
Second.
Discussion? Roll call.
Councilmember Salinas?
Yes.
Councilmember Kraus?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Rottenstrike?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Reinitz?
Yes.
Mayor Control.
Yes. Number 13, public comment. Can I have a motion to open the time for public comment?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Time for public comment is now open. Please state your name prior to the comment. There'll be a 3-minute time limit. This can be on anything.
Go ahead, sir.
Hi, my name is John Bennett of Koenig Court in Fair Lawn, and I apologize, this is the first meeting I've attended. We've previously discussed this topic, but a quarter mile down the road from here, there's a blight on the town, a strip mall got burned up, and it's been allowed to fester with weeds and with equipment and rocks and all left behind, and a huge pit has been left there that's a danger to children who might enter the property. I'm wondering if anybody has discussed a way to remedy this, either by putting up a fence that's a barricade like there is at the former Nabisco property, or by forcing the owner to take some remedy action against, remedial action against.
Yeah, go ahead.
I don't mean to cut you off. I wanted to let you finish.
No, I
Okay.
finished. I wasn't meaning.
So I've asked multiple departments in the borough, as well as our attorneys, to try to figure out what's going on with the property. The issue is, one of the issues is, our understanding was that there was an intent to do a certain thing with the property, and obviously that's changed. I talked to the borough manager earlier this week, actually, about that property and one or two others that I'm concerned about that have, especially other properties that have building permits and have approvals and haven't moved. And so we're looking into an ordinance that I believe exists in Maywood and maybe other places that allows us to require them, to penalize them for not keeping the property up while they're doing that, and not doing things like making it more aesthetically pleasing, especially in the middle of town. So it's something that, you know, ironically, you being here is something that we're trying to get done. You know, having the fence up obviously is a first step for public safety, but please put your hand down. And then once that is resolved, it's something we're looking to do. But yes, we'd like to, like you, I don't enjoy driving past it every day and seeing how much taller the trees have grown.
In my case, I walk by it every day,
Yeah.
and so I really see it up close and personal.
Yeah, so it's something that we're focused on. We know we have the ability, if we don't get satisfactory answers, to name it do a study and name it an area in need of redevelopment, and then we have sort of control over it. So there's a few arrows in our quiver that we're looking to use. It's just a matter of picking the right one. So we appreciate you bringing that to us, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I just think if you had an individual with an old washing machine or a car in their front lawn, you'd do something about it. And here
Absolutely.
they've got an oil tank and
Yeah.
a framework that's just
Yeah.
sitting there.
Correct.
And
And we have talked to the building department. Unfortunately, in our form of government, the five of us don't have the ability to interact with employees in terms of what to do, but we've made it known to the borough manager, who I know, I spoke to him actually this afternoon about that actual property, and I know it's something that he's working with our building department as well as our borough attorney to try to get some action taken.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
all. Thank you
Yeah.
very much. I just
Yeah.
wanna
No,
make
we
sure that-
appreciate it. And
Talk
this
to
is
you.
always a very challenging one for us, because unfortunately, private property, particularly private property that's not residential, and if you're in a situation like this, you can slap them with fines, and sometimes that they don't care, and that's not enough. And so we're trying to do everything that we can, as the deputy mayor said. We wish it could be faster, but we are exploring it, all avenues possible to make sure that that gets cleaned up, and at least, as you said, at least is put in a situation where it's safer, even if they can't rebuild right away. You know, a chain fence for any longer than it's been up is really not enough.
Right.
Yeah,
And-
yeah.
and it is an open pit there.
Right.
So it
Yeah.
does seem a danger to the community.
Yeah.
Certainly, kids can climb a chain link fence.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you.
I just wanted to know, make sure it was brought to your attention.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you. We appreciate that. Anybody else?
Hi. My name is Michael Spada. The reason I raised my hand, I live on Chandler Drive. There's been a fence around that property since day one.
Well, not day one, but yeah.
Day two. I heard a couple words here tonight, more than a couple. Passion, trees, another saying, hope for future sustainability. I'm here regarding the permit that the Borough of Fair Lawn grants for, I'm not sure how to describe the reasons, to cut down 70, 80, 100-year-old trees. I have a friend, 2 years ago, a family from out of town, I think New York, all the plates said New York, they bought a house, and when I called the permit department to cut down a tree, I live in an apartment, so I don't have a tree. The woman at the permit department said, if someone comes and says a branch fell and almost hit my child, if we don't give them a permit and a branch falls and hits their child, we're liable. That is not true. Another example, the house next to it, this month, $900,000 house. We're going to remodel the kitchen, and the contractor has to come in on the left side of the house. So let's cut down the only tree shading the house next to it, so the contractors can come in that way. Okay, fine. The guys who cut down the tree came in the other way. They cut down a 100-year-old, 70, 80, I don't know. The tree in the front, the excuse given was, we have water in our basement. We believe the tree compromised our foundation. I've never heard of that. I was a contractor for 30 years. So the reason I'm really here is you give the permit. As part of the permit, when I have got permits for construction and remodeling, you get a permit. You have to get approval to continue. Then you get maybe another approval. Then you get a final approval. To cut down a tree, they pay the money, they give these excuses, and they're required to plant more trees given the 3-foot diameter of the tree they cut down. The tree 2 years ago was told 24 trees. They had to plant 24 trees. The trees they cut down, I swear, they haven't planted any. New roof, new gutters, new sprinkler system, new sod, $10,000 plastic fence, no trees. The house next door, this month, 40-foot tree in the front, 40-foot tree in the back, and the holly tree. They had to plant 7 trees. I can see the trees from my friend's yard. I did not go on their property. They planted 7 arborvitaes. Arborvitaes are not trees, they're bushes. So what I'm here to propose is that as part of the permit process, if you're going to let people cut down these trees just because they want to, which I don't agree with, maybe add to the permit that within the year, like these people, it's 2 years now, they haven't planted 1 tree. 24 trees, how about $1,000 per tree? $100 per tree. But after 365 days, the permit's still open. It's not final. So go back, and if they haven't planted the trees, there should be a penalty. But what I don't understand is why they're allowed to cut down the tree if it's not diseased. I met this mayor, I'm meeting you for the first time. I was here about the train before. I don't understand how, if the tree is healthy and 70, 80, 100 years old, like you mentioned, why they're allowed to cut it down just because they want to. I don't understand that. But if you add to the permit a penalty, if they're only cutting them down so they don't have trees, make a penalty if they don't plant the trees. Do something. Because once those trees are gone, it costs thousands of Hawthorne. I'm working in Hawthorne at someone's house. The guy next door, they must have the same policy. He wanted to cut down these trees. They're only 2 feet in diameter. He's got 2 8-foot stumps in his backyard. He cut them 8 feet off the ground. I don't understand it. But again, they were 50, 60, 70-year-old trees. And now the person who doesn't have any shade, because the 2 houses next to her cut down probably 10 trees, is my friend Karen Curley.
My name is Karen Curlin. I live at 3702 Hillside Terrace, and the properties that Michael Spada just referred to are at 3618 and 3614. And what I find upsetting is how much this town professes to love trees and has a shade tree commission, and we planted trees, and everyone is thrilled to plant trees. But planting a tree is different than cutting down a tree that has been there for 70, 80, and 90 years, and to have people come in and one day clear cut their entire property of 7 healthy oak trees. That's at 3614, 7 healthy oak trees, and then told, well, you have to plant 24 because those trees were so giant. You can't replace those trees. You can plant a little stick tree, and I'm not going to be here in 50 years to see it. And just walking outside my property now, not only 2 houses down did they cut down 7 gigantic healthy oak trees, the property next to me, the woman who was 94, passed away. New people come in, and this one is inconvenient for their contractor. This one, oh, the tree in the front is interfering with the town storm drain system, and the one in the back, well, they're putting on a deck, and they really don't want to have to deal with a branch falling down. If you use the interpretation that the woman at Public Works gave me, which is, if we don't give our permission to take down a tree and a branch falls down and injures someone or just damages their house, the town is responsible. If you use that logic, you could take down every tree in Fairlawn, because sooner or later there will be a tree where a branch will fall down and maybe injure a person and maybe damage property. But we want to plant trees, not take them down. And I remember last year being here and looking at the plaque in the back about all the tree commendations this town has gotten. And Gail Rottenstrich mentioned that all these new tree things are going on, and how many trees are planted and how many baby trees we can plant. But none of us will be here to see those baby trees reach the size of the trees that were on my street. I moved in 15 years ago, and in 15 years, at least 80% of all those humongous, gorgeous trees that gave Hillside Terrace the amazing ambiance that it had are gone. The 2 properties on the corner clear cut every single tree on their corner properties, and everyone that's moved in has cleared the house of trees. And I don't understand how it can be allowed, and I think people should have a good reason to take down an 80-year-old tree. Thank you.
Thank you. So I just want to, and I'm going to let Gail respond, because as we all know, when we think of Gail, we think of trees, but there's one instance in particular that I think defines when we had a apartment complex that on their own started to take down trees, and I thought Gail was literally going to jump in front of the chainsaw to make it stop. So I just wanted, the first thing I want to say before I let the deputy mayor speak to this is that, and I rarely feel comfortable saying this, and I'm going to say this, there is nobody on this dais that wants to see trees cut down the way they're being cut down, and we are doing everything we can always do more. And I like the suggestion that was brought up about the penalty. But we've increased the tree budget to plant more, which I get it. But as I've been told by Gail, the best time to plant a tree was 25 years ago, and the next best time is right now. So we can do two things at the same time. We have to do better, and Borough Manager, I'm gonna just ask you to, speak with the building department, the Department of Public Works, and make sure that the ordinance that we passed, which we redid to make stronger than it ever has been before to protect the trees in Fairlawn, that it's being put into use the way it's supposed to be, and that people are not allowed to, that the ordinance is being followed, basically. But I'm going to let Gail talk, because I know she has some information, particularly, I think, about this branch, right, the branch falling situation.
Well, I would let the borough attorney answer that part of it, but we changed, as you know, we changed the tree ordinance. You know that, right?
No.
Yeah, we changed the tree ordinance, I don't know.
April
it was-
30th of last year. I looked it
Yeah,
up.
April of last year, to make it clearer, to make it more enforceable, and much fewer trees are coming down. We also required anyone who takes down a tree in Fairlawn to register with the borough, and no one is allowed to take down a tree in Fairlawn. I have to say, when we passed that ordinance, which I also find that it's not enough, we had tremendous backlash here in Borough Hall. These trees are on private property, and there is a limit to what we can do on private property. I totally agree with you. I don't want to see these trees coming down, but there is a limit to what we can do. I've spent so much time in the last 5 years dealing with trees. How do we prevent the trees from coming down? How do we make sure people don't take the trees down without regulation? I agree with you. I think we need to do a better job on making sure that people are replanting trees, and they can't be arborvitaes. They have to be stemmed trees. Yeah, no, I agree. An arborvitae is not a tree. I totally agree. But we also all have to take responsibility ourselves. I had to take down 7 plum trees in my backyard because they were diseased. I didn't have to plant one tree. So I planted 4 shade trees that will grow to 50 or 70 or 100 years. And you know what? I won't be here to see it. But that's not what it's about. It's about taking care of the future. Though people planted trees 100 years ago for us, and they're not all healthy, and not everybody appreciates it, but we today have to take our action also. Karen, you can also plant trees at your home. Am I correct?
Yes.
In that where there's impervious coverage, you can pull up the impervious and you can plant trees. I actually had, when I moved into my house, I had a basketball court. I mean, it was a asphalt. I pulled it up last summer.
You did?
Yes.
Oh, I didn't know that.
And I planted native trees and native plants and native bushes, and I now have a pollinator garden, and there will be beautiful shade trees there. We can't just complain. We also have to take action. I don't disagree with you. Government just doesn't have every single tool to tell people you need to do this and you need to do that, because this is what we want. Because at the end of the day, people own their property. I agree, these trees are public community resources. I think it's terrible that people take down big, beautiful trees. My neighbor has a tree that it's not looking so healthy, but we're going to bring in a tree person because it's on my property and it's her tree, but they're going to come on my property and we're going to prune it and we're going to try to keep it and keep it safe. But I wish more people cared as much about trees as we do, and I wish people wouldn't buy properties with, historic trees if they don't want trees.
That's
But
the amazing
we
thing.
don't have the tools to make that happen, unfortunately. So
We did really the best that we could do with this ordinance, and it is only about a year, right, you said?
April 30th.
So anything that happened prior to that was prior to this ordinance, so we got to give it a little bit more time before we can say that it's
Yeah, I mean-
not working. It's not, you know.
We had people for an hour complain that we were.
How dare we?
We were fining them too much. How can we force them to plant trees? It should be they have to take down 4 trees and then just replace it with 1. I mean, it took a lot of, to get it passed, and Gail spearheaded it, but we're trying to do what we can. But, trees are, and there's an issue of, as we expand, what types of trees are the right trees to plant, and are they, messing with people's sidewalks, and are there right places to plant it? So it's a process. We brought in a borough arborist
I was just gonna say
for
that,
this.
right. We hired a
issue.
borough
It's
arborist. And we now require that when anything comes before the planning board, any applications come before the planning board, that the plans get sent to the arborist, so that the arborist could look at what developers are doing when they redevelop property and make sure that they're planting trees, and as the Deputy Mayor said, the right kinds of trees, not bushes that they prune to look like trees, like actual trees.
So all this is to say we agree with you.
Right.
And I appreciate your passion. And the Shade Tree Advisory Committee, we don't have a commission. A commission has a lot more power, but to be a shade tree commissioner is a big responsibility and a lot of time. And if you want to spearhead having a shade tree commission in Fairlawn, I would support you 100%. I've spent hundreds of hours with the Shade Tree Advisory Committee over the last several years, and if you want a commission, make it happen. Come to the committee meetings and make it happen.
All I know is the townships in Bergen County that are most desirable and the most moved into are the ones with all the trees. Ridgewood, Teaneck, they love the trees, and it's really difficult to take them down, and we should make it more difficult for people to take trees down.
Yep.
Thank you.
Okay, sorry, sir, I have to make sure nobody else wants to speak because you've already spoken once. So is there anybody else that's here this evening that wants to make a public comment before we go back through people that have spoken? No, everybody else is, okay, go ahead. And we'll just restart the timer.
I'd like to address this gentleman's comments about a sound barrier fence. The former mayor, I submitted 16 pages over a 2-year period about the trains, 11:58, 1:15, 5:30, 5:35. I could set my clock by how many times they blow the horn. Now, with the new president of the New Jersey Transit, somebody spoke to the engineers. They don't do it 20, 30, 40, 70 times like they did in my 2-year period, but they do it 12. They're only mandated to do it 4. They do it 12. This morning, 5:44, 12, 5:55, 12. 1:15 in the morning is most consistent. I broke my lease at Radnor property 10 days into my lease, 3 weeks after I had triple bypass because I couldn't sleep. My suggestion to this council, you have a noise ordinance. My quality of life has been compromised for 3 years by the trains. Write the New Jersey Transit, write the new president, fine them for violating the noise ordinance. They're only supposed to blow it 4 times, but you're dealing with a 163-year-old union who, during my 2 years of writing down whenever they woke me up, didn't have a contract for 4 years. I don't know if they have a contract. They have a new president. They still blow it. The latest difference in how they blow the horn is number 12 is 3 seconds long, and boy, is it loud. So you have an ordinance. I'm not sure what you can do with the New Jersey Transit and the ordinance, but they still blow it 12 times at 5 in the morning, 5:30, 1:15, 11:58.
So I can, I can talk to that. So a few, I have no problem, and we'll do it tomorrow. We'll reach out to the New Jersey Transit. I'll reach out to Assemblywoman Swain's office about only blowing the horn 4 times and see if we could put pressure. Let me explain to you a quiet zone. When you designate your town as a quiet zone, if anybody or any car is hit by a train, the borough assumes liability for that event. So when you establish a quiet zone,
Okay.
okay, and
I
if
did.
somebody, as we've had happen unfortunately in Fair Lawn multiple times, I've spoken with our attorneys and our risk manager.
Okay.
The risk manager will not, the insurance, they won't cover us, because that is putting far too much of a risk and a burden on the municipality. I wish it wasn't that way.
Is this new because other towns in Bergen County have
Other
quiet-
towns do it. They assume the risk.
assume the liability?
That's correct. They're okay with assuming the risk, and we are not,
Okay.
because our risk
Thank
manager
you.
is telling us no.
I was wondering what happened
Yeah.
about the quiet zone.
Yeah.
One more question for the attorney. If a
Quick.
branch falls, or I think the realtors, when they sell the house, if the prospective buyer says, what can I do about these trees? Since these houses are next to each other and they both use the same reason to get the permit, if and your person at the permit office, without me even prompting her, said, well, if a branch falls and we don't give them a permit, we're liable. Is that true?
Listen, I can't operate in hypotheticals on what was said or what wasn't said. I don't know what particular set of circumstances surrounded that particular circumstance, and I'm not going to sit here and go through hypotheticals on, well, how about this, how about that?
What's hypothetical about what the permit person said?
I don't know what the permit person.
I just told you what they
I
said.
wasn't present, but again, I'm not going to go through hypotheticals with you back and forth. We go through hypotheticals all night. What I do know is that there is a permit, there is an ordinance the township has put in place that is pretty strenuous, and they've worked very hard to because of their passion for the trees. And this council can, or the manager can talk to the buildings department and the construction department and talk to them about enforcing things properly, but I'm not going to get into whether that's correct or not correct.
Okay, I just think it's kind of pathetic reason to cut down a 70-year-old tree. A branch fell, it might have hit I don't even think they have kids, but they cut down all these trees. I lived in-
Sorry, your
3 minutes
3 minutes are up to
Thank
you. Do you? That's okay, thank you.
Mayor,
Okay, yes.
if I
Yes,
can, just on this, because I am very familiar with these two properties.
Yeah.
Because of the amount of trees that they did take down, it did, after you cut down a certain amount of trees, it goes to my office and it goes to the arborist, and then we review all of it. The reason they came down was not because limbs were going to fall or anything like that. They did abide by the ordinance. The shrubs do not count as the trees. They do have a timeline to replace the trees, and they did have the option to also pay a significant amount of money into the tree fund. I'm not sure which one of the properties, but one of them did pay a very significant amount of money to go towards planting other trees. The other one does have a planting plan that I can review with the council when I get back into my office tomorrow.
Okay,
You're welcome.
thank you. Okay, any other public comments? Seeing nobody else, can I have a motion to close the time for public comments?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Time for public comment is now closed. Resolution 309-2025, executive closed session of September 30th, 2025. Will the municipal clerk please read the executive session resolution?
Whereas NJSA 10412B allows a public body to enter into a closed session during a public meeting, and upon conclusion, the meeting will return to open public session. And whereas the Borough of Fairlawn has deemed it necessary to enter into a closed session excluding the public to discuss matters that are exempt from disclosures, contract negotiations, and pending litigations. Now therefore be resolved that the Borough Council shall now enter into a closed session, and that the discussion in closed session may be made public when disclosure will not detrimentally affect any right, interest, or duty of the borough.
Can I have a motion to go into executive closed session?
So moved.
Second.
Roll call.
Councilmember Salinas?
Yes.
Councilmember Kraus?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Rottenstreich?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Reinitz?
Yes.
Mayor Cottrell?
Yes. Okay.
9:22.